Hello twin flames, this is Victoria and I'm here with your daily energy check. Welcome to my channel. Merry Christmas if you're celebrating Christmas. Happy holidays on whatever it is you're celebrating. It could be Hanukkah, it could be just appreciation, anticipation for the New Year's, or anything else at all. It could be just your personal holiday that you're celebrating. Happy holidays, guys. And today I'm gonna do a classic check-in. I have done several formats in the last few days, so I decided that while a lot of people are enjoying time with their family, or at least time for yourself, right? Even if you don't have other people around, it's like this quieter time where naturally we get more opportunities for contemplation, for introspection. This is a great time to do a check-in and see what's going on the twin flame journey. It may not be on the foreground for you at the moment, but we shouldn't forget about it. And no matter whether that point, right? No matter whether we acknowledge it or not, it exists. The energies are impacting us, and we are constantly being guided towards our best timeline and fulfilling our mission, our goals on this path in this lifetime. Of course, it involves our twin, so we're gonna see what's going on with the other counterpart as well. I do have all my cards here. Hope you like my candle. I finally decided to switch it on, light it up. I brought it from Germany actually, and it was a few years ago in November when we were kind of already in that Christmassy mood. And it was so beautiful that I just couldn't resist. I still love it so much. Anyway, let's start with an oracle card for each of the twins and see what do we have. And I brought my gold foil tarot. Maybe it's not as user-friendly in terms of seeing the artwork, but it's the classic tarot. A lot of you know what the artwork is like, and I just love the gold foil part. It also feels great because it has like this metal elements in it, in the card itself. So it's a really different feel when you are shuffling and just working with the cards. So yeah, a little bit of that holiday magic for today. I will do the yearly projection next week. Don't know which day I'm gonna choose for that. I will be busy Monday through Wednesday, so probably gonna be like Thursday time, I think. And I will also be doing yearly readings for each of the zodiac signs on my other channel, so you will be able to check those out as well. Okay, let's see what we have for divine feminines first of all. Oh, I also posted my little Christmas card for you guys on the community tab, so you can check that out. It's one of my memories from the Dominican Republic. Everything was beautifully decorated in and around the resort, and yeah, I just couldn't resist from taking a few pics for to share with you guys, to share the holiday spirit. Not to say that I'm not doing anything for the holidays here, I do, but it's not always a perfect picture opportunity, let's put it that way. It's either what you're wearing, or there could be a lot of people around, or maybe the event is great but the decorations are not so great to take pictures. And that was just a great picture opportunity. And I will share something else from the trip for the New Year's. Because to me, generally speaking, although I am a permanent resident in the US now, I'm still Ukrainian at heart, and for us the biggest holiday of this holiday season is the New Year's. This is when we give presents, this is when we get together with loved ones, and this is when this is like the most magical night for us. So to me it still is to come. This is just the beginning of the season. We have two cards for divine feminines in the meantime. Narrow pathway, tread thoughtfully, and passion and pleasure. Savor your life. Don't rush, savor your life. Yeah, so to me, the main idea here is do not try to accomplish everything. Do not beat yourself up that you're not going fast enough with whatever it is your goals are, your plans have been, right? If you feel like you have been stopped by the universe, it was done for a reason. So you can slow down, enjoy the moment, savor the moment, right? Savor your life as it is now. And say thanks to yourself, first of all, for how strong you've been, how far you've come this year, this season, this month, whatever applies to you. Right? It's super important. Of course, thank your guides, thank your higher power for guiding you through these moments. Very, very important for the Hod. I was just talking about it, right? Okay, let's see what we have for the masculines. I like when this kind of cards fall out when you're, you know, we have downtime, like for the holidays. It's a reminder to us. And, you know, for a lot of people, it's actually not as quiet if you're getting together with extended family, especially if you're the one hosting everybody else. You know, it could get 5 times crazier than your normal day-to-day routine is. But even then, like even more so probably, this is a reminder that this is your holiday too. And I mean, yeah, if you say have kids, obviously trying to make it magical for them, have a lot of fun and entertainment, special presents, blah, blah, blah. But it's so important to do something for yourself too. So at least make that commitment to yourself that between now and New Year's, you will, if you haven't done something special for you, some sort of self-care or give yourself a gift, you will do that. It's super important. My presents for myself are always the best. And not to say that people don't give me good presents, but I love it and I don't feel guilty about it at all. We have 3 cards for Divine Masculine. Okay, it's an interesting reading today, but I love them all. And it's also, look at this picture. If that does not say Christmas and New Year's, I don't know what is. I mean, it is kind of a, no, it's not even a carpet, it's a sled, it's winter. It's like, yay. We have transformation, of course. A fresh new way of living emerges. We've been talking about it for a while, and this is not something that happens overnight, literally, right? It's gonna take a while, and we are in, this is a reminder that Divine Masculine is still in progress of applying that transformational energy into their thinking and their way of living. Choosing your path, all is possible, right? And this is one of the next steps, is making some big decisions in how you want to take your life forward with this new knowledge, new information, and new enthusiasm about the journey. In the flow, everything is smooth sailing, right? So things come in naturally. You don't have to go upstream to kind of push against the flow, right? That's the whole point, that you have, as long as your energy is high vibe, right? Everything comes to you. We don't have to conquer the world and, like, you know, work 24/7 to make things happen. And this is again a reminder that if things are not smooth sailing, maybe they're not for you. Maybe just not yet, right? That's an important part of it. Doesn't mean that it's never gonna happen. It's just not yet. It's not the time for that yet. Okay, let's get into tarot. Let's see what's going on. Let me just move this a little so you can see the cards better. What's going on with Divine Feminine? And then we'll get to Divine Masculine and the connection at this time. For the Feminine, we have the Magician and the Knight of Swords. Nice. So what I'm getting, I'm just gonna go with the read immediately as the messages arrive. His Divine Feminine realizes that they are that proverbial Santa Claus or Father Frost or whatever in your culture it is for yourself, right? Like, you are the miracle, right? Be the miracle yourself. That's the important part. And that's the important part to communicate to other people. That's what I'm getting here. That's the light worker mission, step 1, right? You know, as you talk to people, as you engage with them in various contexts, to deliver that message that they are special and they can make anything happen for themselves, right? They don't need that magical somebody else or special circumstances, right? It's here and now. It's about us creating our future. Feeling that potency right now. Understanding, having a clear vision, that's what I get with this Magician card. Having a clear vision of what is the most important part. Maybe doing summer planning, but most importantly, how do I say it? Embracing that energy, right? Because you're still savoring your life. You're still doing that passion and pleasure. The masculines, we have King of Wands and the Tower. Wow. Yeah, so for the masculines, what I'm getting here is that so masculines are stepping into this King of Wands energy, being wise and following their passion, their bliss, and what feels good, right? That feeling rather than thinking, logical thinking. And guess what? That creates some conflict in their life because not everybody's on board. Well, first of all, people don't understand where is this coming from because it used to be different. Second of all, it's not gonna slide like with everyone, right? Because this is where that natural selection happens of whether we are with people who are on the same wavelengths with us, the same vibration, or they're not. And then it's time for them to go. And divine masculines, what I'm hearing, have known for a while, especially with some people, that they haven't been on the same wavelengths. But for different reasons, sentimental, codependent, whatever, they've been holding on to those relationships and still making it work. Well, guess what? Now is the time when it's not going to be like that anymore. And I'm not saying that it's necessarily conflict or whatever argument, but it's more like divine masculine is going to say, I'm doing that. You can do it with me, or you don't have to, obviously, but I'm doing that. Or you want to go to the movies today? I don't feel like doing it. I'm not going. Everybody be like, what? What do you mean you don't feel like? That's what we do. I mean, it's a good movie. Like, I just don't feel like going. I'm gonna stay in. Maybe, I don't know, do something for my hobbies, right? Or just go to bed early or whatever. So it's like, I'm also getting a message at the beginning of the end for some of the relationships, some of the karmic patterns, some of the ties. So again, may not necessarily manifest to its completion right now, especially as we are in the holidays and a lot of people are trying to kind of keep it up and smile and, you know, show everybody, yeah, I'm in a good mood, you know, let's have some fun, and trying to take it easy. But this is the time when divine masculine start anchoring those scenarios and those moments where the feel-good vibe is more important than making sure that your friends or family, karmic partners are happy with your choices. Okay, what do we have for the connection at this time? Bottom of the deck, the Hanged Man. Yeah, so it's more about looking around and observing and feeling through things rather than doing. The Moon and Ten of Swords. Interesting, right? Another end of the cycle. So healing has been one of the topics that we've talked about, and it looks like for the twins there's still certain heartache, certain pain that is lingering on the under the surface. That's what I'm getting here. So you may be like hunky-dory and you may be fine with your twin on the surface, but deep down there's still some healing that needs to be done about the past events, choices, the heartache, maybe even the heartache from either of you or each of you being in a karmic situation and not available to be together, right? Could be different things. So this is an invitation for you to be able to, well, we just had the new moon actually, it's showing the full moon. Well, actually it's kind of the new moon here as well, right? Use your, and the moon is calling into our intuition, right? Our inner power. So go into that depth and try to find new ways of healing that heartache, right? This is the time for healing. And what I'm hearing is going to be critical for the next step of the journey, for the next lap, the next cycle. It doesn't mean that if you don't do it, it's going to stop you from progress. But if you do heal it, then that progress can be, I'm hearing, like 5 times more efficient for you. Because the more of the burdens you leave behind, the lighter you become, and the easier it is for you to go forward, right? To accelerate yourself into the progress. Not to mention that, of course, it's not going to be a trigger for you anymore. Because if there is certain pain that we leave unhealed, it's going to come up to the surface every now and then. You're going to get triggered. It's going to create, it's going to bring up those painful memories, and it's going to get you into that state of sadness and, I don't know, disappointment or anger again, right? And this is a way to leave it behind so you can move forward with that light-hearted energy, right? So this is another side of it, is finding compassion and kindness for it. Even if you know 100% that whatever happened from your twin side was like legit, objectively unfair way of treating you, right? Which could be the case, of course, but this is finding that compassion in understanding that they did the best they could in the moment. First of all, it's a journey, right? And the fact that they did that, whatever that happened, doesn't mean that they're still in that space today. That's another important part. And we need to tell our brain, our psyche that, because it's always going to think that if that person hurt us then, they can do that easily again, right? That's the protective mechanism that our psyche introduces. Hence, all that kind of like, oh yeah, no, that those memories of pain. Like, I'm not gonna do that again. I'm not gonna, put myself out there with that person because they can hurt me, and they will, most likely, right? So removing that mind frame, right? And also understanding another side of it is that all of that was done for a reason, so that you can grow from it. Both of you, actually, right? That's the magical part of it. That whatever that situation was that ended in a heartache, it was important for both of you on your journey. And maybe you could even, like, if you go back with your person, I've done it several times, not on purpose, but it just happened. If you would be recalling certain events from the past, they would even remember different aspects of it, or certain words or phrases that you would never pay attention to, because each of you is taking what you're supposed to see, to hear, to take, whatever makes a trigger to you, right? And that's the magic of molding yourself into a better version of yourself with this journey, but in a conscious way, right? So that you don't just leave it behind, but you understand what it was about. That's an important part of healing. And you know what, when I started the journey, just one more thought before I get us the messages between the twins. When I started this journey, and I knew I had to do a lot of inner work to heal a lot of things. One of the first light workers, twin flames, that was on my way, that was kind of providing some guidance and help, kind of made me feel like, and with all due respect, his mentor was kind of teaching this that way, that healing, especially of the big T trauma, takes a lot of time, and it's very painful because you're kind of peeling off these layers and you're going through those painful emotions, right? You're like diving deep, you're like, there's some sort of like shamanic stuff happening, but it doesn't have to be like that. The newsflash. And as I was going through my own experience, I could see a variety of different scenarios of how it can play out. And, sometimes it happens more naturally on its own. Sometimes it's important to know how to help yourself heal faster, easier, how to make this smoother for yourself, or at least how to support yourself. Because not everything can be healed right away. Some things we need to come back to over and over again before it's fully healed. But it was important for me to learn that it doesn't have to be hard. It's not a must. If you haven't suffered through this healing process, through this inner work, it doesn't mean that it's not healed, right? And I almost feel like it's the higher power that can also decide, like, do I want to put her through all of that pain, or it doesn't have to be that difficult? The important part is, though, for you to understand what that pattern was about, to understand that lesson, right? Because as a light worker, you need that in your bag, in your tool belt. to understand what it was about and how to work with that scenario, with that pattern, with that energy, right? And if you do understand it without, going and replaying that scenario and going through new scenarios of the same pattern, if you don't need to do that, if you've learned your lesson, then why would the divine put you through that? It's not the point, right? To make you suffer over and over again. So if that's something that you experience in your relationships, either with your twin or with somebody else, then just know that yes, it's definitely asking you to pay attention to it, to take a closer look and to heal it. It's not supposed to just be there as a source of constant suffering. And it's definitely worth it. It doesn't mean that it's going to take you 10 years to heal it. Speaking from my own experience. Okay, that was a bit of a hopeful, inspirational speech for someone going through some tough times or actively doing inner work. Let's get messages from DM to DF at this time. What would divine... no. What would divine masculines like to share? Yeah, that's what happens when you haven't been doing readings for a couple of days. Took a little bit of a break for myself to do earthly things and to savor my life, It was actually a pretty bad winter storm yesterday. I mean, it wasn't a storm actually. Everybody's calling it that, but in my area, there was no storm really, but it was freaking cold. It was so cold that in this area, we're not used to those kind of temperatures. It was really weird. I hope you'll wait for me, and I lie awake thinking about a future. There we go, divine femmes. What else can you ask for? You are on their mind more than they care to admit, and they definitely hope that when the time comes, that it's gonna happen. That you're all gonna coincide in those, in the same point in time and space, and you will be able to be together when you're ready for union. Messages from divine feminines. It's fine. We'll take it. Divine feminine wants to talk. We'll take it. I'm obsessed with your body. Wrongful advice. Definitely sex with you. And strength ego, which is also sexual energy. So very strong sexual pull, sexual drive. And what I'm getting here, especially with the wrongful advice, that it's very interesting. What I'm getting is divine feminine is actually considering the general stereotypes about physical attraction and wanting to have sex with someone. And what I'm also getting that for a lot of them, it came from experience with a different masculine, not necessarily divine masculine, but somebody else. That it's okay to have that desire. It's also okay if you, at a certain time, you're only interested in a person from that perspective. There is nothing wrong with it, right? If people were telling you that was their own advice, right? Like that was faulty information. But it's a good thing, it's a good idea. And even though we're talking about we're talking about it, divine, this is a sacred relationship, right, between the twins, and we're saying that physical closeness is not the most important part. And it's all about making the world a better place and spreading the love and all that stuff, but this is a big part of it still, and it's part of the energy exchange and part of how we support each other. It all counts. It's important. So there's no reason to be ashamed of it, right, or to keep it a secret, or whatever your strategy has been based on the societal norms, right? So this is like divine feminines being ready to go and wanting this kind of intimacy and wanting to share that they have those feelings and those urges towards the DM, and they find them very attractive physically. Okay, I hope this has been good for you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. Happy holidays, and I'll be back with meridians very, very soon. Bye, everyone.